What happened? We just messed everything up. That's how we want to go live right here. Just everything and just disarray. I start out with a bang. This is actually the number 2 machine here, so it's got to go next. So I was live last night and totally jacked up the whole farm while I did it. So the whole flipping farm. Well, okay. This looks like total crap here, but we're gonna harvest them. Try to pick up some money off of it. Try to get what we can off of it. Total crap salad here. Garbage graphics on top of everything else. Okay. I had to drive by myself for a little bit. So I actually started them off at the wrong spot in the field. Garbage ass sunflowers. made a new road over here. You can't tell though. Stop it. Yeah, there we go. Made a new road, so where's my grain cart at? Let's get after it. Try to keep them going around the field here, and then we will try to set something up for the mother bin. They are hauling butt around this field. Just hope the what you call is working right now. Convoy. Catch you on the next side, bud. Sorry. I didn't make any sharp edges on this field. It doesn't usually pay off at all. So pretty much all of it. used to drive one of these in real life, but I'd never back up through a field like that. So, with a grain cart behind me, it looked cool though. And I was not gonna back up run into the next one, so my bad. This one ain't got nothing on anyway. Well, we got a load already. Got a load. A lot farther up here than I thought it was. Got plenty of time there. He ain't nowhere near full. Maybe this one? Yeah, they wasn't full. Anyway. Let's get the front one. Keep him going. Hey, the herd. Man, I feel privileged to have the herd coming by. How you doing, bud? Thank you for stopping by. I will definitely return the favor. Much appreciated. I'm over here having no fun with these sunflowers I didn't mean to plant, so. Hope you're having a great weekend. Not too bad. Just doing some decompression gaming here. I didn't mean to plant these daggum sunflowers, but we're going to harvest them and make the best of it. I had made a couple rounds and I realized I was doing sunflowers back in the spring, so we'll just make the best of it. I could have used my easy development tool and changed that, but whatever. Got to keep the realism, you know. Shout out to the herd. Awesome. I missed a couple of weeks working home life, but I got on last night again for a little while and back tonight, so got a lot of catching up to do. Got a life outside of YouTube, you know. Even though it'd be a lot more fun if I was just on YouTube. Absolutely. That is farming all day long. Story of my life. Wish I would have stayed on the farm for a long time, but whatever. You know, gotta pay these daggum bills, so. He ain't gonna make it. this is all I had to do all day, I'd be in a lot better shape. I know that's right. I think I paid better. I paid bills better when I was on the farm because I didn't have as many bills. So I got into the to sales, and all of a sudden we wanted to live large, you know. I had way less bills when I was on the farm. A lot simpler time for sure. What you working on tonight? Anything special? I hadn't made a video in a while. I've been doing live streams for a while, and I haven't done any videos in a minute. Just a straight up video. It's been a minute. Yeah, I've been in sales for 9 years and did farming for about 8 years and law enforcement for 15. So I'm definitely on the downside of the spectrum, but I learned a lot through farming and law enforcement. Now we're in sales, so we will survive though. I haven't tried Strasbourg yet, so need to give that a shot. I've been stuck on this Missouri map for almost 150 hours, Missouri River Bottoms. So next to Alma, this is my longest running map. I think this one is um, this Missouri River Bottoms map. I have spent more time on this thing and Alma map. Those are probably my two most played. Um, I do have the Delaplane Arkansas map that I spent quite a bit of time on, and Iowa Plains View. But they've all got kind of the same theme on them, you know. They're all about the same theme or the same widespread view. I do like the Alma map. I have spent quite a bit of time on that one. I love the Delaplane map. That guy does a lot of Mississippi maps. I'm from Mississippi. Um, he likes to do a lot of. I did the Kruger map from Delta South Modding and Mapping, and I did the Delaplane A lot of the rice, they do a lot of rice in those maps. It's pretty cool, actually. Um, Delta South modding and mapping, and then he helped out on this map as well. He had something to do with this map. He helped them out with this one. So I like the wide open, kind of flat maps. That's what we had down in the Mississippi Delta, was the wide open, spread out areas. You know, maybe the fields weren't quite this big, but we had a lot of 100 and 200 acre fields, and then the rice fields would be the 40 to 80 blocks. You know, so that Delaplane map reminded me a lot of the rice farming I used to work on. I moved dirt on the farm too, so we had to do land leveling and a lot of good times for sure. Mississippi Delta is a bunch of wide open, flat maps, kind of like the plains, but with more ditches and uh, everything's right at sea level. Tell you what, though, if you don't have any help, though, 82 acres is just fine. I'm gonna get a truck real quick. I almost forgot to bring a truck. So. Which I worked on an 8,000 acre grain farm, and we only had about 8 or 10 people working on that whole farm with like 5 tractors and 3 combines. So I can totally relate to working your ass off. I totally understand. So I've seen quite a few videos of farms in New York. Um, I forgot the name of the guy, but he does have some. He farms in New York, and he's got John Deere combines. He has quite a few videos on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Well, cows need. See, we got lucky that we only had grain. So if it was too wet to go to the field, we just kind of put around on equipment. But if you got livestock, you're stuck. They need livestock needs something done every single day. So yeah, I can totally feel your pain on that. I've never had livestock, so just kids. Which livestock will at least go to bed most of the time, so kids won't. Now, we are running like we're supposed to now. I've never done the animals. So like, I don't do animals on this farm because I can't tell you anything about them. I think I remember you saying something about that on a live stream one night about the trailer. Probably a lot more freedom to that than a farm. Absolutely. They are very needy. I got a Labradoodle that reminds me of a cow. He just wants to eat. But yeah, how many cows did you have? I'm gonna try to keep this show moving here. Ah, damn it, I didn't make it. That's still plenty to do. That is still plenty to do. My convoy is not working on these machines again, so. Well, that's actually really satisfying to build your own stuff and kind of see what you did. At least you could see your work. But it was a whole lot of work. What's down here where I'm at, it's either too hot or too cold. It's never a nice day. We had around 2,000 acres of rice and usually 6,000 acres of soybeans. Um, we plant wheat on some of that ground and a little bit of the sorghum or milo, but it'd be very small amounts of that. Mainly soybeans and rice, but that was our two biggest uh, crops. We mix in a little cotton there once in a while, depending on what the insurance was paying on it. But mainly a grain farm, so that's on most of my videos. All I have is grain. That's all I know. So I knew how to do that rice. I could plant it and grow it, harvest it, dry it. Get pretty good at all that stuff. But it is a lot of work. Which grain can be a lot of work because if you got grain bins, um, you got to keep the dryers going with stir-alls, and if you don't do that right, you got a mess. You can ruin a bin of rice real quick. So I'm in North Mississippi, right by Little Memphis. So Tunica County was where I grew up at, and I'm in DeSoto County now. It's over here just south of Memphis. Tunica used to be the casino capital of the South. It was the third largest casino destination in the United States for a while. Now they're almost gone. So Tunica County, Mississippi. But I know exactly where Slidell is. I'm a Saints fan, so I love some Louisiana. Get some of the best cooking in the world in Louisiana too. Everything's seasoned well. Definitely seasoned well. They don't halfway do anything in Louisiana. Let me get down here before this guy runs out. I think every time a hurricane comes through Louisiana, they are between Slidell and New Orleans right there. Memphis used to have some great barbecue. It is not what it used to be. But there are still some good spots. But I used to think Memphis barbecue was awesome until I started cooking barbecue myself. Now I'm really picky. But if you think about it, nothing is like it used to be. So still a few good spots in Memphis. So go early in the day when it's all fresh. Yeah, we used to love to go to Memphis. I stay away from Memphis now, but and one of my coworkers went to St. Louis last week. He said it was still a lot of fun there, so that was a good feeling to hear that it's still fun in St. Louis. And Memphis still has a lot to do though. I won't say anything too bad about it. Just uh, certain parts ain't what they used to be, but nothing is for sure. Downtown Memphis is still a pretty awesome place. The river area down there is really awesome. So I wish they the Bass Pro Shop up here is pretty awesome. Big pyramid. So yeah, at St. Louis, if you stay in certain parts, it's not as bad as others. But anywhere you go these days, these big cities, um, you just got to be careful. I like to go visit in the winter too. Everybody seems to stay in the winter. My daddy-in-law lives in Broadview, Chicago area, and I like going there to visit, but you just can't, you don't want to. Scared to death. I'm not scared, but I don't feel like it. Being in law enforcement all those years, I don't feel like any mess. You just don't feel like the mess. I don't feel like having my car broken into, or I don't feel like fighting with anybody, or what is this guy doing? Me really just start pushing that combine? I went to Chicago back in 16. Um, I'm sure a lot has changed in like 9 years, but Broadview is out there on the southwest side, so nice little area my father-in-law stays in. But like he knows everybody that lives around him and like everybody in the area. But I like to come back home. If I go visit somewhere, I want to go to Tampa or like I want to go to the coast. That's my favorite spots to go to is the coast. So or like Jamaica. I want to head out west sometimes. So I'd love to go out west again. I hadn't been. Went to Tucson back in '09 and like El Paso back in 2010. That was really really nice. I would not complain at all about having the backyard as my ocean. I just got dead grass right now, so the ocean sounds pretty good. That sounds really, really beautiful. Which if I go to vacation, I head to the water. So you're living where I go to vacation at. So that sounds really awesome. I heard Northern California is really nice still, but I hear mixed reviews about the certain parts of Southern California. I'm sure the views are still awesome. Oh, absolutely. I want to go to Washington D.C. before I get too old to go, and I don't think I've been any farther than like Indianapolis. So I'd love to see the Pacific Ocean just one time, and Morro Bay. Okay, cool. I heard that. I see the views sometimes. It's pretty beautiful, but pictures different than seeing it in person. So you got it made right there in that spot for sure. I'd love to go to Washington too, Oregon, and just see it all. I know you got to go to certain parts of the country certain times of year too. So yeah, I don't do a lot of that politics either. Either they're good or bad to me, but either way, I'm an old farm boy. I like to hop on a jet to anywhere. So well, there's nothing wrong with that. She keeps you on your toes. Sounds like. Well, the same thing every day in and out does it does get old. So I've been on this same job for like 7 years now, and it does get old sometimes. So if you're moving around all the time, you'll never get tired of moving. I thought about getting in the behind the wheel of 18 wheeler on the road, but I got a 15-year-old daughter at the house and an 11-year-old son at the house, so I have to be here right now. But as soon as they're gone, don't know what'll happen. Might hit the road till the old lady retires. So I've been in Mississippi my whole life. I've lived here my whole life, except like a couple months I was in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. My ex-wife was active duty military, so we lived at Fort Leonard Wood before I came back home. And I've been here my whole life, and I've done okay. So my dad lived here his whole life. Mama's lived here her whole life, and a lot of people I know have been here their whole lives. So we're good people in Mississippi. We won't hurt you unless you ask us to. Most of us have manners, and we'll give you the shirt off our back. like everything else, there's good parts and bad parts of it. So the Delta region where I'm from, there's not much left there but farms and a few casinos. But everybody does good people. Good old Jackson. I'd have to go to Jackson once a month. That's where all the, when I worked DUI enforcement, I was over the DUI grant, so I had to go down there once a month to Jackson. A lot of good food. Might get your car stolen in some places, but that's everywhere now. Know a lot of good people from Jackson in that area. Canton, Flowood, Madison. Well, we are churning up some sunflowers here. Pretty good food in Jackson. Couple of good buffets down there. That area's like become Tornado Alley down there around Yazoo City. I know, right? I met a couple people from New Jersey, and like, good to see you. And they're like, oh, you good to see me? It is hilarious. I deal with it because I know better. But I can totally hear people saying that though. It's not rude. It's just different. So. That is too funny. One of my first managers in the car business was from like New Jersey. I'm like, man, this guy's a total dick, but he could sell cars, so he wasn't rude. He was just straightforward. So, and the accent didn't help anything. So. I still want to go to New York sometimes too. New York City. I haven't been over any like farther than Indianapolis. My daughter lives in Indianapolis, so I had to go there periodically. It's not a bad flight up to Indianapolis. And I fly through Detroit sometimes when I go there, so not all that bad. But the funny thing is, I go to, as country as I am, I can go down to Texas and people ask me, you're not from around here, are you? I'm only like 8 hours away, but I don't fit in. So yeah, I love Indy. Indy's a really cool place. All the suburbs around there, like Noblesville, Fishers, all that stuff is like really, really nice. Never had a problem in Indianapolis. Yep, absolutely. The Indianapolis, the Detroit airport's like that. I said the same thing about Minneapolis too. Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. Um, I was going from one gate to another, and it was like I had to walk a mile and a half. So I think last time I flew through Detroit, I landed on the wrong side, and we had to walk up under this tunnel to go back to the other side, and it was, yeah, different. It's all cool though, so I like to get out. But you got it made, man, out there by the ocean like that. That is pretty awesome. Good old Pacific Ocean. California is big enough. It's got like you got desert and you got mountains, ocean. It's got like everything. But yeah, India. I agree. India's real cool. Yeah, I never thought about that as being. I never really thought about the weather on the Pacific Ocean. Absolutely. I'm learning something new today. So I guess that wind blows in there all the time off of it because every storm system comes through there. Wind's always blowing there, I'm sure. I never had any idea about the weather. Nobody ever talks about the weather like it's really hot and it's really cold there. So I'm learning something new. I know at Seattle it rains all the time. Well, if you're always moving, it's always something to learn for sure. Hey, I'm in if they got cheese dip. If the cheese dip's good, I'll go anywhere. Yeah, I've never thought twice about the weather in L.A., San Francisco, none of that. That's kind of how it was when I worked for the government. You had to fly here and fly there. You didn't get much of a chance to see sight to do like sightseeing. If you flew somewhere, you had to go to it was to training, and then they kept you busy the whole time you were there. You're out there on the San Andreas Fault kind of area. I like to go there one. I need to go that way one time. My wife keeps trying to get me to go to L.A., Hollywood. Um, I'm gonna break down and go one day. Yeah, man, they'll have you getting on a flight and flying in somewhere and getting your ride or your car and going straight there and training for 4 or 5 days and leaving straight back out. Okay. Good old GTA. Get back over. I hate tabbing so much. So GTA. Well, my truck finally caught up, so we'll get that much handled. Yeah, I know, right? I think I spent 2 weeks out in Tucson, Arizona, right there in Morena, on the where the Pennell County that boneyard is, and we were at a training facility there for like 2 weeks. You had Sunday off, but you had been training for like 5 6 days, so you had to wash clothes and kind of get yourself together for the next week. So um, I think we left that for a couple hours and came right back. It was they'd take you up there and drop you off in the middle of nowhere. But they would come back and give you your per diem for everything that you did, but you'd be out a couple $100. And the next morning they come out there and with buses and pick you back up, take you and drop you back off the airport. So that was the only vacation I got when I was in law enforcement, I think. I went to Dallas one year, or let's see, Bryan, College Station, Texas one year for driving school for a week, and then '09 was Tucson, and 2010 was New Mexico, El Paso and New Mexico area. So, like, hey, vacation. Not really, but that was vacation. You had the worst seats on the airplane. It was horrible. It was an experience, though. I can tell people about it. I gave you $2 the other day. That was my first experience with the desert. It's really humid here in Mississippi, and you go out to the desert for a couple weeks, and you're hurting. It's cold at night, burning up in the daytime, and the air is really dry, and it was different, really different. That's the farthest west I've ever been. I think. Well, Las Vegas is. I've been to Vegas before, so about the same boat. That was for fun. Vegas was fun, but it was cold at night. Good old hot dog. Hot dogs aren't free. I went to Vegas back in 19. Vegas was pretty awesome in 2019. I couldn't comment on it now. I've heard it's not as good anymore after COVID, but the only thing I did not like about Vegas is you walk out to the strip and you want to walk down to wherever you're going. Oh, it's just right there. You see the sign? It's just right there. And you'd walk forever to get there. We walked up to the Welcome to Vegas sign. It was only a mile away. You know, we walk miles all the time. It took us forever to get there. But it was pretty cool. Airport was good. Food was good. I didn't gamble when I was there. I was from the casino capital of the South, so I did not gamble. We just kind of went and hung out and walked and saw the scenery and drank too much and slept too little. So. That's what it seemed like. You're not lying. 3 miles is what it seemed like. I need to go. We had walked. I think I went 21,000 steps one day, and I'm 6'6". I got a long stride, and I took a lot of steps. Also, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, call you wanting some information. Yeah, I didn't gamble the whole time I was there. We went to the buffets and the restaurants, and I went to. I never have been a big gambler. I do sports betting now, but when I didn't do sports betting back in '19. So But it was big, bright lights, big city all night. The coolest thing about Vegas is when you just walk down the street and you can take your alcohol with you, and you may smell some weed or something. Nobody bothered you. Uh, Everybody just kind of did their own thing. Now you had your typical people want to take pictures and charge you for the pictures and whatnot, but they're just trying to make a dollar, so they don't bother you if you don't bother them. Um, Worst part about Vegas was people trying to sell you the timeshares. That's the only thing I didn't like about Vegas. If they see you walking around like you don't belong, they're gonna ask you to come to this meeting and sell you a timeshare, or try to sell you a timeshare. I'm a salesperson. I wasn't buying shit, so a cheap salesperson at that. So he wasn't selling me nothing. They tried to close me a time or two, and it didn't work. So I messed up and stayed at Luxor. We stayed. It was a that added to our walk because you had to walk over to like MGM and catch the monorail. We had like 2 day free pass to the monorail. So, but it was a long walk to MGM to get to the monorail. So next time I go, I'll stay at MGM probably. We'd have to walk from Luxor through the Excalibur over to MGM to get the monorail. But yeah, the timeshare people, man, they are relentless. You want to go to see a show? Nope. How about some free food tickets? Nope. Just tell them no. I heard it was really hard to get rid of a timeshare. If you get locked into it, it's really hard to get rid of. So I'll just not try it. They tried to sell me a timeshare though, and I wouldn't. I just kept telling them no. The guy didn't know I used to sell 20 cars a month plus, so I did know what I was doing when it comes to selling. When I went to Dominican Republic, that resort tried to sell you a membership too, and I wouldn't buy a membership to any resort. So you get sick and get down and stuck in your recliner all day long. You still got that membership to that resort though. Yeah, they just send you a bill and you're stuck with it too. You are stuck with it. Sitting here broke at home, broke, can't work, but I got my timeshare. Man, I appreciate you stopping by, man. I'll definitely return the favor. So I really, really appreciate you coming by here, taking your time out of your business schedule to come hang out with me. Thanks again, bud. You too. I really appreciate you as well. Be careful. Hope she feels better. We are knocking these sunflowers on out now, so down to 41 minutes. I ought to be able to finish these up. I got you. You're doing a fine job. I'm try to keep this front combine. Thank you, sir. You too. Really, really appreciate you. Always glad to have good people on. I get lucky. I have a lot of good people stop by here, so a lot of good folks. I'm never planting sunflowers again. Uh, uh, that is so unnecessary. I don't know how he did it, but he made it. I guess. Almost like my mother bin get full again. I guess we are doing some good with the sunflowers. Ain't go up there and see how many we got in the old bins. Kind of scared to hit that escape button because as soon as you do, that thing will reset. Keep it moving, keep it moving. They really don't have much left here before they're done. $40 and we'll be done harvesting. I'm so excited. Hasn't been that bad. These Lexians with these big headers really get across this land pretty quickly. I may go back to the other paint scheme on these though. Put them back to the white and lime green. Run, boy. So I need to get some propane. We're out of propane. We can't dry corn without propane. So you gotta have propane. $33 minutes. This is going better than I thought it would over here. I kept this combine way ahead of the others because the convoy's not working again. So. Plant this whole thing of sorghum if y'all keep on. Overall, pretty good sunflower crop. Even though I didn't want sunflowers, so. We'll figure it out. Got sunflowers on the bottom end down here. Not too good up on the other side, but. Corn wasn't that good either, so. Got to get the corn dryer back to going. So get enough propane to finish up the season. I don't want to come back over here again, so. Make me a way out of here. Brakes need to be fixing this truck. Sunflower stacking up on us a little bit. Got to spin that cart. See how much easier that was when you spin it. I'm going to top this cart off too. Shouldn't take much. Couple 1,000 liters. You got it. Maybe it's got a couple 1,000 liters he can let me hold real quick. Shit, barely. He barely had it. There we go. We're done. Now he's half. Here comes my fuel truck, my delivery. Load of propane. Mother bin makes life so much easier. So glad I bought one. Cool. 18 minutes. Go, 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 go. I'll do it. Be kind of crazy down here at the end, so I'll keep this stuff moving. We'll get done quicker. Boom. Trying to get done. Lexians do dump pretty quickly. You late. This combine's way ahead of the other one, so about 5 minutes worth. So make sure they all go back to the starting point. So I've got 600, 700,000 liters of sunflowers. Okay. Almost said marshmallows. I don't know why, but alcohol's starting to wear off. would almost think you cut these with a conventional header, but I don't know everything, so. Get on up there. We're going to end up with over 700,000 liters, which is several bushels. So. Out of 2 fields. This is a big field though, so. I'm not worried about those two as much, but. Hey Charles, what's going on, man? I'm sitting there about to wrap these daggum sunflowers up. How you doing tonight? My accidental sunflowers. We got quite a few sunflowers here. I got you. I was into my live stream last night. I turned every field on this 4X map into a ready to harvest sunflower fields. I had to go back and fix all that last night and this morning before I had to go out and run an errand or two and start watching football. I have never messed with the easy development tool in here that much, except for like super strength and money. So I wanted to go in there and make my sunflower field was ready to harvest, and I turned the whole farm into ready to harvest sunflowers. So we had to go back and fix that. No big deal. I did learn how to go in here and cheat and make my field ready to plant though. We had a oh hey son, Southern Juju in the house, my oldest boy. Yeah, it just rained up here, so I guess it'll start getting cold in a minute. Had to make sure I tied the trampoline down back here today. put it beside the storage shed and the fence. It's supposed to snow sometime this week, but I keep seeing it's gonna snow. Probably not down in Vicksburg though, but glad y'all guys stopped by to see me for a minute. Me and the herd had a pretty good conversation going. We got a lot of in common friends, so. Had to clean these corners up a little bit. I can't deal with that, so. That's the first time I've had to stop a machine at all. They've been on the first waypoint for a while now. Whew. It's gonna be cold in the morning, Southern Juju. I went and got my coat out of the car earlier, or the truck, excuse me. It's a hard thing to come home at 80 degrees outside, and then a couple days later it's 20 degrees outside, and you left your coat in the truck. So. Yeah. I'm overstaying my welcome tonight too. I was going to just try and get these daggum sunflowers out of the way. We're gonna make it. I don't figure. I can't figure out why he's still riding around trying to get. You got 97%. Just go dump, and don't come back. I know this is boring, but it's gotta be done. So. Story of my life. And we could just make this road over here. Too wide. I need a driving all around there. Now, we made a road. Where the hell are you going? I guess they want to try my new road out. Oh, that's right. Let's drive off in the damn ditch. Well, this machine's done with the sunflowers. How's the ground breaking going up, Charles? You still there? I had that attention deficit disorder going for a second. Sorry. We don't leave plants ready to harvest right here beside the shop, for sure. We did it. I'll do it. We harvested quite a few liters of sunflowers off this here field. Oh shit. I'm gonna dump on you. Won't you do it? I don't need you. That's the last hopper of sunflowers. we are done with sunflowers. Well, crap. Man, them things burn some fuel. That's close enough. He'll find it that way. Ooh. Damn. Can't drive. All of a sudden. Well, I appreciate everybody stopping by. It's past my bedtime.